We are now 1 week in to the NBA season so far. We got predictions, we got takes, all that to talk about another episode of. All right. Let's just talk about James Harden first, because that's the biggest piece of news from this week, and I'll move into just our predictions and takes from the first week of the season. What do you guys think? We can start with Jake about the James Harden trade. Does it help the Clippers? Does it help the Sixers more? And what do you think that will look like after about 20 games?
I think it's gonna help the Clippers for sure. I still think Harden can be that guy who could average 12 assists a game, and I think it'll help them out in terms of spacing. Like obviously picking up an all NBA caliber players, like
Right.
they're gonna get better. Personally, I rank them as like an 8 or 9 seed to finish the season out. Um, I think it jumps up their top four, top three teams in the West now if they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Um, I
No,
don't know about you guys.
I don't think that's crazy because they kept a lot of depth. One of the good thing about the Clippers being an already deep team is they got rid of their older depth, but they kept Bones Highland, they kept Mason Plumlee, they kept Norman Powell, they kept Terrence Mann, they kept the valuable pieces for their bench, and now you still have three All NBA players. Russell Westbrook, to be honest, is not bad. He had a terrible stint with the Lakers, but he's been good since he got to the Clippers. So
Russell
I,
Westbrook's still a very good player.
right.
Changes
So
game. It's a lot better now.
what it's going to come down to is what it always has come down to is Paul George and Kawhi Leonard going to be healthy. Because if they are, now they have a legit chance to beat the Suns, Nuggets, and Lakers. Those three top contending teams or projected contending teams. So I agree that they could be a 4 seed pretty easily if everyone stays healthy.
Yeah.
I'm personally not a fan of the move at all. I'm just not a James Harden fan. I don't think his brand of basketball it leads to winning basketball at all. I mean, you've seen he's folded, or I guess after his Rockets stint a couple of years, he's been pretty abysmal in the playoffs. Just
Yeah.
don't know how all that spacing is going to work. I know Paul George is a good player off the ball, but the ball's got to go around a lot. There's a lot more mouths to feed on that team. And regardless if they keeping the depth was good, and the 76ers didn't have much of an option. I mean, they had to get rid of him.
Yeah.
But I just
I
feel like
also
the Clippers are doing a little bit too much. I feel like you should have trusted the team that you built with all that depth instead of going out and just changing the whole complexion of the way they're going to run their offense and then how they're going to play defense. I don't know. It
I
could
honestly
work out. I think they'll be good in the regular season, but I don't know how it works out long term as a 1 year rental. I don't really know.
I see them making the move because it is a 1 year rental and like they're going all in right now. And like they really didn't give up much. Like gave up Robert Covington off the bench. And I think they're gonna start Harden and then move Russ to the bench. And then Harden will be like the facilitator starting lineup, and then Russ will be in there. And then obviously they'll have the rotations where it's Russ, PG, and Kawhi out there, and then Harden, PG, and Kawhi. I don't think they're gonna play Russ and Harden at the same time a lot. If they do, it's
Right.
kind of fucking stupid.
Well, that's the biggest question I have is PG and Kawhi actually aren't bad off ball players. They both
No,
can shoot
not at
the
all.
three. They both can shoot the mid range. They'll be fine. It's the Harden and Westbrook dynamic because Harden needs the ball in his hands and Westbrook can't shoot. So I agree. If the smart move would be to have Russell Westbrook come off the bench, I think Ty Lue will figure it out pretty well. Ty Lue is a top three, top five coach in the NBA. I'm not really worried about that, but I am interested to see how the playoffs look because, like LeBeau said, James Harden is notorious, even in Houston, for playoff struggles and playoff duds when it comes to big games. So maybe being a third option is good now, but it also comes down to is Kawhi and PG going to be healthy for those games? Because if James Harden's your third option, he has no stress on him to do anything but get 12 assists. And so if Kawhi and PG are healthy, I would not be shocked to see this team in the finals. But that's just the biggest if of every
The
NBA.
finals. You
Oh,
think
yeah.
you think they have a chance to go in and beat the Nuggets?
If this team
100%.
stays healthy, I think they can play together and score enough, and they all can defend except for James Harden.
Dude,
James,
MPJ,
you can
MPJ is
hide.
not. MPJ is one of the worst defenders in the league. He is not like he's long and lanky. He's athletic, but he is not guarding Paul George.
I think the Clippers would give them more problems than the Lakers did last year because they have more offensive weapons, and you can't guard Jokic. Everyone said AD would do the best job in the league, and Jokic gave him a 30-point triple double pretty much in the postseason. So it
You
doesn't
just kind
really
of have to live with it.
matter. So you're just going to
Everyone
get his
fancy points.
points.
Come on now.
The Clippers will be able to play with that team and score the same amount of points as they do. Russell
I think
Westbrook,
the one thing they did though is they give themselves a lot of security against injuries though. I mean, like that team gets injured every fucking year. Kawhi and
yeah, that's
PG are
true.
braces by the playoffs. I mean, James Harden can easily step into that second option role if one of them gets hurt and they could still go in and contend for series. I just don't know how it all. I mean, it could work. Like hypothetically, if they all click together and they play offense well, like they are really scary. I just have concerns of how Harden fits in that offense and if he throws everything off. But like you said, Tyler's a good coach. I feel like I have some confidence in him to figure it out. But the
Yeah.
Clippers have gone all in for like the past 5 years. If they don't win it now, that organization is be horrible for like 10
Right.
years.
And that was one of the reasons they made this move because they need to win in the next 2 years. Because if they don't, then it's not. Then this was the worst failed experiment in one of the most in NBA history.
Matches up with
Does that.
Brooklyn in like 2013.
Yeah, it will. And maybe even worse because of the caliber of guys that Kawhi and PG were compared to what Paul Pierce and KG were at their point in their career.
Yeah.
But that's where continuity comes into play. We saw the Nuggets have continuity, and let's go to the Bulls now because the Bulls have been a team that preach continuity.
No fucking continuity.
The problem is they fucking suck. So it doesn't matter if you are play together for a while, you have to have good players, and they don't. It also doesn't make sense to me that Billy Donovan's still the coach because how are you going to preach continuity, give him the same team for 2.5 years, and we get worse? And like Nikola Vucevic is, I think, on one of the most underrated players in the league. He's on a bargain of a deal, but he doesn't get involved in the offense enough. We watch the games here all the time, and he'll get like 8 points in the first quarter, and they never go back to him. And he ends with like 12 and 13.
Now he'll get 8 points. He'll get 8 points in the first 4 minutes, and then they'll stop feeding him, and then it's just the whole team is just fucking iso ball. It is
just the DeMar show.
It is terrible to watch, and like
There's
LeBeau said,
offense. They do not run an offense.
Like LeBeau said in the last podcast, it's just like it's not exciting to watch. It's all iso ball. DeMar thinks he can go and drop 30 every game, which he probably could, but it's so fucking boring to watch. Like I'm so done with this team.
I think the only reason people like because remember when DeMar first got here, we had Lonzo and DeMar was having like a hell of a season, like out of body experience type year. Bulls fans fell in love with that, and now they think that DeMar is the same player when he's not. DeMar is not as efficient as
years older. He's an old motherfucker.
You're right. He's not as fast. He's starting to take more threes to fit it into the offense, which makes sense, but he can't shoot threes, so it just doesn't work. I think that he needs to be the first guy out of here after Billy Donovan. I think Billy Donovan needs to be fired after.
I mean, he's like a black hole for any offense we're trying to run. When you run some sets, here comes DeMar, 2-step pump fake in the mid range. Oh, you make it like 50%.
Let me hope I draw a foul. Let me hope I draw a foul every time I shoot the ball.
Let me flop at the free throw line. Chuck some bullshit up.
I mean, we also got to talk about Kobe too because he has been so fucking atrocious.
He's been bad.
He is terrible.
His game against Toronto was good. I was happy with that. But his game against Detroit was terrible. But to be honest, that whole game, aside from Zach, was absolutely atrocious. Yeah. And then he has looked questionable. He's not under control of himself. He turns the ball over. I like when he plays fast, but he needs to have a better change of pace. Because until he does that, he's going to be a turnover machine and a foul machine. He can't stay in the game.
We need to trade someone, hopefully DeMar, and we need to get a serious point guard since Lonzo's out because it is terrible to try and watch that offense.
Oh, it's
being
awful.
Run through Javon Carter and whoever the fuck is trying to pull up the ball or bring up the ball.
Yeah. Kobe as a point guard also so far, it's an experiment, but it hasn't really worked great. I know we're 4 games in, but it's going to take time, but it just hasn't looked great. He had one good game against Toronto, but he just does not seem under control of himself. He turns the ball over a lot, and he gets into foul trouble because he's not making high IQ plays. If he had Alex Caruso's IQ with his skill set, he'd be elite, but he's not.
I also don't think that his game against Toronto was even that good. He shot 5 for 15 from the field. He had 17 points. He's been so inefficient. He's shooting 39% from the field, 25% from 3. It's just not. It's terrible watching him and Javon Carter and whoever the fuck is trying to dribble the ball up the court. It's fucking terrible.
I mean, he's just not a point guard. You look at his skill set. He's a shooter and he's good at getting downhill. That's everything you want in an off-ball guy. Why are we having him run pick and roll with Vooch? I'd rather fucking burn my eyes out than watch that all game.
Right, and that's why I was
this guy off the ball. Give him at least 7 catch and shoot threes a game and let him get downhill. I mean, he does not need to be running the offense. I feel like there's no stability when he runs the offense. You need a guy.
I think he would be better off the bench anyway. I mean, imagine if Javon Carter started. Javon can shoot threes. Javon's a smarter player and a better defender than Kobe is. And the bench needs offense more than it needs defense. The bench already has Alex Russo and Torrey Craig coming off. That's more defense than you need. You need scoring. But imagine if Kobe got to run that unit instead. I think that would be a better lineup. And this again goes back to Billy Donovan, which I don't understand why he's still the coach of the Chicago Bulls. But he needs to do that. It doesn't work. Kobe White hasn't worked as a starter. He's already tried it before he had this team. He hasn't grown enough, and it's not his skill set. Just like Patrick Williams isn't a 4, he's a 3. Kobe White is a 2 and not a 1. But Patrick Williams is a whole different problem.
Patrick Williams could get his whole fucking ass shipped out of Chicago
Yeah.
ASAP, dude, and I wouldn't give a single fuck.
If he plays 4 games where he plays well, trade him right after those games. It's the highest his value will ever be.
Yeah, I mean, watching him shoot threes and hit the side of the backboard consistently just makes me want to actually put a hollow point through my skull.
Wasn't he I think he was 1 for 11 through the first 3 games from 3?
Yeah.
It didn't take him. Didn't he hit his first one the third game?
In the 4th, we watched it against the Pacers. That was his first 3. It was fucking ridiculous.
Everyone's fucking freaking out like he just set a world record because we
although P. Will looks really nice tonight. Yep, he has 7 points instead of 2.
Yeah. Oh, he's developing really well. He's 23 now. He's fucking.
Yeah, those are rookie standards. He was giving me 9 points a game as a rookie.
He's got about 15 more games, or I say we just kick him out of the league. He's that bad. He's bad for the league to even have on an NBA team.
I think he has value still. He's young. He's 23. He's got to play 5 games and then get him out of here when he still has value.
I mean, his ceiling is
Embiid.
He should be coming off the bench on a team, getting 15 minutes a game and trying to impact the game, not a starter and one of our go-to players.
Yeah, I think we just keep waiting for him to develop, and it's never going to happen. He's just
for no reason
being a role player and move the fuck on. This whole team needs to move the fuck on. But I mean, they're not going to do it. If this team makes any changes before the trade deadline, I'd be shocked. But we're just going to struggle.
I just want an exciting player. Is that too much to ask for? One player that I can turn on the TV and be like, oh, I hope they do well. Not apart from the team. There's nobody. Go get a young guy who's interesting to watch, who can still take steps in the next 2 years and maybe be a go-to option. But there's just nobody.
Also,
how do you waste a 15th overall pick on Dalen Terry?
Yeah, it doesn't. And
has he played yet this season?
No, he's terrible now too.
He's
but before you even knew that, you didn't even play him. You drafted him 6. You know, he got the least minutes of a 16th overall pick of all time, ever.
That's insane.
That's Billy Donovan's coaching right there for you.
Get him. I also think our program that we have or whatever the fuck we're doing with rookies is just a black hole to be absolutely dog shit unless your name is Derrick Rose. Holy shit.
You know, they hired a new head of development team this offseason. So hopefully in the next
they should all get fired and shipped to China.
Well, hopefully they figure it the fuck out in the next 5 years. But I think it's a little too late for Patrick Williams.
Can we talk about the Grizzlies?
Oh yeah, they are gonna be fucked. They're fucked.
They're terrible.
They are not good.
Even with
John Morant, this team's problems are a lot more than that.
Even when Ja comes back, I do not see that team going over 500.
This team might be. There's 25 games he's suspended for, right?
Yeah.
They might only win 8 of those.
Yeah, and I just don't see him making that much of an impact when he's probably going to go off and do some stupid shit off court again, even with his mentor and savior D Rose there, do some stupid shit.
Bro, even if he does come back though and plays well, if you're 8-17 in the Western Conference, you're not making the fucking play-in.
No,
it's too many.
I think that place is just a shit show right now.
Oh,
starting off 0-4.
What's even changed for them though? I feel like you had Marcus. They had a decent offseason. They've got all the guys that when Ja was out in the past 2 years, just absolutely lit it up. I mean, didn't they have better records without Ja for the past 2 years?
Yeah, we also got. They don't have Steven Adams right now or Brandon Clark, which are massive pieces of that team, and they are without both of them. So you're missing your star player, one of the best rebounders and screeners in the league, and then a good up and coming player, and you don't have that right now.
I think the Grizzlies will be fine. I think they have a lot of good players, and they've got a squad that's been together for the past couple of years. I think.
Thing is, though, Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson have been playing well, and they're still losing. They're still losing these games. I know they played against Luka, we'll talk about him in a second because what the fuck. But they still lost by 5 or down 10 or something to Luka by himself pretty much because Kyrie has not shown up yet. But let's talk about Luka because I don't know who you guys have as your
going fucking nuclear,
bro. He's if the end. I mean, I know it's 4 games, but right now he's 100% the MVP leader. He's fucking insane. Not only is he putting those numbers up, but he leads them to wins too.
Yeah,
play 4 now.
I think they're 3-0. They play the Bulls tonight. That's gonna be gross.
Yeah,
I
we might
don't
lose by
know
100.
what the fuck. Kyrie Irving got paid and disappeared. Where the fuck is he?
That I still, even when that trade happened last year and we were talking about it, I didn't really like it. I just don't see how Kyrie's gonna fit into there. Like even if Luka's going and getting 10 assists a game or whatever the fuck, like Kyrie needs the ball in his hands.
Yeah,
So
and
Kyrie's
he's
kind of carrying a squad of bums right now. Like it's not like their team's good.
yeah.
no.
Yeah,
He just makes average players look better. It's like LeBron. Like he
like
has
he
Grant.
got Josh Green like $80 million.
He's got like Grant Williams on that team. He's got Derrick Jones Jr., Derek Lively, and he's making them all look like 16 point per game scorers because they are not nearly as good as they're playing.
Yeah, I think they'll be dangerous. Add back Kyrie. I was watching this thing like Mark Cuban was saying. Kyrie 100% understands he's the second option. I feel like that's when Kyrie's at his most dangerous.
Yeah, but I think Kyrie needs to figure out how to make a shot again before he can actually help that team because he's just not hitting anything right now.
What do you
He'll be
guys what do you guys think about the Lakers?
Gross, gross.
embarrassment of the organization.
I think Gabe
Gross.
Vincent is making them Gabe Vincent and Cam Reddish are making them worse.
Gabe Vincent fleeced him of $11 million. $11 million he got paid to go
Yeah.
put up 2 points a game.
I think it's
Why
just
is Cam Reddish
ridiculous.
getting
Like
buckets? Or why is he getting minutes? Why is he even in?
I don't know. When you're that inefficient, like why not move to Max Christie off the bench? Like
Exactly. We got young guys off the bench. We need to develop, give them some minutes. You know, LeBron's not going to play till he's 47. Maybe we should have some young guys on our team who can dribble the ball. I mean, you're playing the average age is probably like 30 years old. I don't know why you went out and got like Christian Wood, Torian Prince. I mean, you have guys in that organization that you could have played. I mean, I don't really know
well,
what they're
just
doing.
Christian Wood and Torian Prince are great pickups, but
Well, I love how like Lakers fans all offseason were like easily the best offseason of any team, yada yada yada. I mean, what did you Cam Reddish was gonna be bad all along. I can't believe they thought Jackson Hayes was gonna make a difference. Torian Prince is just inconsistent. He's 20 points one night and two the next. And Gabe Vincent, to be honest, that was a case of playing well at the right time. He played really well in the finals, played well in the playoffs. You're gonna get paid, and he's just not playing the same way anymore. And now LeBron James has to go out there and play 36 minutes just to lose to the Kings in overtime. So
Yeah,
that team needs to
because he's the GOAT.
regardless of if you think he's the GOAT or not, they're losing games. And he shouldn't have to be
He's
the
a
GOAT
fucking
at 38
idiot.
years
He
old.
could be the greatest player of all time one night and then have cerebral palsy the next, dude. He fucking sucks. He falls over every play. He got absolutely bitched by Jokic.
Anthony
Bro,
Davis.
like that was
Anthony
embarrassing.
Davis, he played bad the first game. Since then, he's been great. But I mean, LeBron and I are watching the games the other day. He falls over everything. He just trips and dives
He
down the
literally
court.
threw
And then
himself into the crowd. We just laid out the cameraman for no reason.
Yeah, he'll get poked in the eye and then sit there like in the backcourt while his rest of his team's playing defense like this, holding his face, and then just get like a cherry pick dunk and then be
Then he'll
totally
go,
fine.
and then
Like,
he'll chase down block, and then he'll get like 12 rebounds too. His numbers are crazy, but his team is just not. Austin Reeves, where are you? What did he get this year? He got like what, $15 million a year? I think he's playing worse than Patrick Williams, which is saying something.
that is saying a
D'Lo's
lot.
playing really well though.
Yeah, D'Lo's been good, and he gets the most hate still for some reason. I don't understand that.
The Lakers have a very weird fan base where like you can only either love a player or hate a player.
Yeah, if he
I feel
doesn't
like
score, and then like they have insane expectations, like 18, 7, and 4 isn't a good night. You got to get 25 and 10. Like it's crazy.
it is. I'm not horribly surprised though because it's hard to go into like if you don't really think about it, it's like hard to go into a franchise like that that's so global and like you're basically like the pinnacle of basketball if you play for the Lakers. Like some people fold under pressure to that, and I'm not surprised that some of their offseason pickups like aren't able to do it.
Well, that's why it's hard. That's why like some of these offseason pickups aren't going to work out. That's why so many of the guys that they've gotten just don't pan out. It's a lot of fucking pressure. I mean, Russ was the fucking key example of that when he played there. They just hated him, bashed him, all that. He goes to the Clippers. He plays great now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's. Is there anything else that happened this week?
I mean, where do you guys think the Lakers are going to finish?
Can we talk about Wemby? Like, I don't know about you guys, but he has been so fucking disappointing in my eyes. Like,
yeah, but
I
it's
would
also
not be
it's 4
surprised
games.
if
It's 4 games. 4 games.
I know, but like everyone is talking about like he's gonna be the fucking next Michael Jordan and LeBron, but like you should be doing more than getting 13 points a game and 8
I
rebounds.
think,
And, okay, you have 5 blocks, but you're fucking 7'6", dude. Like, do
yeah,
something else in the floor.
his efficiency and turnovers have been a problem so far. But bro, he's 4 games in and he is already an elite
He
defender.
looks good. He
4
hasn't looked
games in.
horrible.
He has
I don't know.
not
I
looked
just
bad at
think
all.
like it honestly just pissed me off that ESPN, like, it was like the third game and it was like Wemby, what a night, and it's a picture of him like shooting a fadeaway and it's like 16
Well, that's
points,
how I feel every time
7
LeBron James
rebounds. I'm
plays.
like, dude, I could go in there and get
That has
16
been
points
LeBron
and 7
James for
rebounds.
15 years.
Yeah, he also didn't go to like 10 finals and win the MVP countless times and win 4 championships, but
Bro, but if LeBron James came into the league
he was the
today,
face of the NBA
if
for
LeBron,
20
no,
years.
no, I
He still
know, I
is. Of
know.
course they're gonna post him.
If LeBron James came into the league today, though, like as the prospect, like type hype that Wemby was, and not in 2003 when there wasn't as much social media, he'd have the same glazing that Wemby has now too. That's just how media works
I don't
nowadays.
know. Yeah, it
That's
just
why
pisses me
it's
off.
annoying, but that's what's
You
going to
turn your
happen.
hate into the media into hate for LeBron. Like, come on now.
If all right,
I'm
this
not
is what I
saying
gotta
hate
say.
LeBron.
This
I'm
is
just
what I
saying
gotta
that's what
say.
he's always on. The media rides LeBron. They're gonna
He's the
ride
best.
Wemby. Those are the
He's the
people that
best,
make
and
money.
Wemby's the best prospect, so he's gonna get hype. Wemby will
This
be
is what
fine,
this is what I
though.
gotta say. ESPN needs to fuck off when he scores 15 points because no one cares. And I would not be surprised if Asar Thompson finishes higher than him in Rookie of the Year.
That's crazy. That's fucking.
Asar Thompson's
If
more
Asar
of a
Thompson,
veteran.
if Asar Thompson can figure it out on the offensive end like he did when he played for Overtime Elite, I mean he has all of the tools. He is
The
averaging almost
only no,
2 steals a game.
the only chance of Sir Thompson has it being higher than Wemby is if one Wemby gets hurt or two the Spurs are so terrible that Alcir's not because their number is going to be the exact same. But I think the Pistons are going to be worse than the Spurs. I just think Wemby's going to end up give him 10 games, he'll figure it out on the offensive end. There is no way that Arcir Thompson is going to have the same capabilities on offense that Wemby.
I can see it. I could see
Oh
it.
my God. Brandon Miller maybe finish higher because Brandon Miller's offensive game looks good. It looks NBA ready. But Arcir Thompson is 2-3 years out from a consistent.
Brandon Miller is also a criminal.
Well, true, but he's still playing the league. No, yeah. Regardless, though, I think the rookie will be Wemby. We'll talk about Chet next week after this. But Wemby, Alcir, Brandon Miller, and Chet look like the 4 best rookies right now, 100%. Even though Chet is technically his second year. Let's move to the Eastern Conference. Best teams in the East from last year: Bucks, Celtics, 76ers. Quickly talk about the 76ers because Tyrese Maxey looks like he's going to end up being better for James Harden, better than James Harden anyway. He's putting like 30 so far this season with like 8 assists a game. They're winning games. He doesn't look like Embiid's really going to miss a beat with him. And with all the stuff they just got from the Clippers, I wouldn't be shocked if they flip one of their picks or two and one of their players to go get another all-star type guy like a Zach LaVine to pair with Embiid and Maxey.
Maxey the Bulls. Come on, bring him home.
I hope they trade for DeMar instead of Zach, but
dude, I'd give them DeMar and Zach for Tyrese Maxey.
No, they're not going to give us Maxey, but they can take Zach. They can take DeMar for one of those first they just got from the Clippers.
I'll take Robert Covington and
some other bum from that salaries, and then give me a pick.
Paul Reed would be electric.
Yeah, bring Paul Reed.
Paul Reed would be better than Drummond, and he's athletic, so he would be a different look than Vooch for sure.
And he can stretch
a little bit, not
a little more than fucking Drummond's stupid ass.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, not nearly.
Drummond needs to head to China with Dwight. It's not fucking 2013.
Nah, stay away from Dwight, bro. He's sus.
I think the 76ers is their squad kind of tough now. I'm flipping up the rotation or my rankings now. I think the 76ers finish as the 4 seed. Sorry, the Nets. But
swap the Nets. Yeah. Cam Thomas though looks pretty good.
Thomas needs to be a starting point guard in the league.
Yes, for sure. Let's go to the Bucks and the Celtics, who are the number 1 and number 2 teams in the East. That's probably what it's going to be. Celtics look good. Jaylen Brown looks inconsistent, but I feel like we expected that. Drew Holiday seems like he's not going to have as big of an offensive role. It's really going to be facilitating defense, and when he needs to score, he will. Kristaps looks great, and Jason Tatum looks like an MVP candidate like normal. Any other takeaways from Boston's first week?
Yeah, I don't know. I think their bench depth kind of lacks a little bit.
Sure.
Still Al Horford there, like he's not doing much off the bench, but Kristaps has looked great. I wasn't really expecting him to be like the third option on offense. I was expecting like Drew to go get his out there, but Kristaps has looked great. If he can stay healthy, that team's gonna be good.
They're just a good team. Can't say much more.
And then the Bucks. Dame has had a bad game. Then Dame had two great games. Giannis has been Giannis. I think that their defense definitely looks like it's gonna struggle, especially at the guard position. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray killed them. But I don't think there's gonna be that many problems. Bobby Portis looks good. Brook Lopez looks like the same player he was. Chris Middleton needs to figure out.
Giannis been hitting some shots, man. He's
No,
stepping that
his
out.
three doesn't look that bad, and it's more open now that Dame and he has more shooters around him.
Who did the Bucks play when Dame was going crazy that one game?
Philly.
That I felt some type of way watching that, man. I was riled up.
Yeah, and then the next game
That
he
was
went and
awesome,
dropped
dude.
six.
Just seeing him.
Then the next game he went and dropped 6 points and then got me like 13
10
fantasy
fantasy?
points. Yeah,
we know who Dame is though. I feel like a guy who's had to go through so much, play with Portland for his whole career, finally coming like the big stage and like have his first moment on like a really good team. Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
No, I think that team, they're going to figure it out, and Middleton's going to figure it out. I don't know. He's still on a minutes restriction. His injury last year was fucked, I guess, but hopefully he's back to normal soon. Because if that team has Chris Middleton as your third option, I mean, they're going to score 130 points a game.
Yeah, and then we know they can clamp up in the playoffs when they need to.
And Dame learns how to shoot the fucking ball again.
Yes. All right. Well, that will end this episode here. Hopefully the Bulls aren't fucking ass again this week, even though somehow we're 2-2. Game night against Dallas. Hopefully Luka doesn't give us 50, and we'll catch you guys next time.